your everyday lives even more than whoever gets elected president on Tuesday. And these are propositions 15, 19, and 21. Now, two of these propositions had to do with property tax bases, and it's a good idea to define or discuss what tax basis means. So it means that whatever price you purchase your property at, I'm talking about a home or your condo or building, the price of the property taxes which are charged by your local county are based on whatever you paid in Los Angeles County, for example, is approximately 1.25%. Okay, so that's what a tax base is. It's based on that. And it goes up approximately 1 to 2% every year depending on inflation. And that's the law that was set in 1978. What happened in 1978? It was the California Revolt and Proposition 13. And I'm going to read that to you. This proposition was passed by California voters in 1978 and froze property valuation at 1976 levels, plus a certain reassessment annually for inflation. The proposition also set a 1% limit approximately for property taxes because different counties charge a little bit more depending on the needs of the school or of the roads. There's also Melrose taxes, and those are additional taxes on top of your property taxes when there is some infrastructure need, such as a road or a school or something like that, that needs to be reassessed or added on top of your tax base. But going back to Proposition 13, or 15 actually, I'm sorry, Proposition 15, 19, and 21. Proposition 15 says that properties worth more than $3 million that are industrial or commercial will be taxed at current market values, not at the price that they originally paid. So in other words, it would undo Proposition 13 for those properties. Now you might say, well, all these people that own $3 million properties and above are very wealthy. Most likely they are, those people, whoever they are, but the tenants may not be. And so these companies that are renting from these landlords are going to have to most likely raise their prices if the rent goes up, because there is no rent control for commercial or industrial. That's only for residential. So that's what Proposition 15 does. Okay. Proposition 19. Proposition 19 also has to do with the tax basis of your property, and it affects the following three groups. Actually, there's four. It allows those who are 55 years and older, the disabled, and those affected by wildfire to transfer their home's tax base, does that word again, to a primary home's replacement resident anywhere between the state, among the different counties in California. Now, we have something similar, Proposition 1690 now, but that only affects certain counties within California, not all of them. And this one also includes the victims of wildfire. Now, Proposition 19 is both portable, deals with portable issues and also heritable issues. What it does as well, it protects only the inherited homes up to $1 million value used as primary residences or farms to be eligible for the property tax savings. So there was a case a couple of years ago in the LA Times where Jeff Bridges rented the property that he and his siblings inherited from his mother, and was charged, I think, $15,000 or $16,000 or something like that, and was paying very, very little in property taxes. So when this law passed, the intention wasn't to help people who had multi-million dollar estates, but some people do, and so this is actually limiting that tax benefit to those who inherited properties and currently live in those properties. Now, the jury's still out on, let's say that you're in college and you're unfortunate enough that your parents pass away, you're still not working and you're in college, and you don't live in that property, then what happens then? You know, you're gonna have to pay taxes if this passes at a higher level, but even though you can't really afford because you're in college to live there. So, you know, it's not a perfect law. It will affect, it will help a lot of people, those three groups: senior citizens, disabled and wildfire victims, and potentially will affect their heirs. So that would be, I'm calling the fourth group. Okay, so now the last one, Proposition 21, and how that affects Californians' lives more than whoever the president is. It would replace another law. So as you're seeing, you know, some of these propositions replace other propositions that we already voted for a long time ago. It replaces the Costa-Hawkins Rental Housing Act that passed in 1995. Now, it's a law that continued to accept condos, townhouses, and single-family homes from more strict rent controls. So now that's what it says. Now, how does that work in real life? Let's say that you are someone who owns a condo or a single-family home, and the renter has been there for 20 years. So most likely that rent is very low. Now, the current law is like if they leave, you know, you don't kick them out, you don't do anything funny like that, they live on their own, that person, that landlord now has the right to increase the rent to whatever the market rent is. Now, if Proposition 21 passes, that exception from the what is called Costa-Hawkins rental exception, that will go away. So that means that whoever owns this property, it will require the local jurisdiction to charge, it says 15%, no more than 15% within the first 3 years following a vacancy. So it's called vacancy decontrol. So it means the jurisdiction will force those owners of single-family residence to not charge market rent. It would have to be subjected to within 15% within the first 3 years. And so there's another 15 number that's thrown in this Proposition 21. So when I first read it, and I've been researching and I've been reading different posts and blogs of other people, and so it says that exceptions are for units that were occupied within the last 15 years. So let's say that you have somebody that's been living there for over 16 years, then that particular property you can still charge market rent, but you would still have to charge no more than 15% within the first 3 years. So, and then the savings will go to the state, to schools and things like that. So if you think that the state is fully utilizing the money to the benefit of schools and, you know, other programs, then, you know, you can make that decision based on that. So that's all I have for you now. Thank you very much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.